And here we are. Now, before the playoffs, I did a bracket. Yvonne did a bracket. Mine's busted, just completely broken. Hers is still intact. Where we agreed in the first round was these two teams winning. Where we diverge, I said Nashville, she said Winnipeg. Now, I still think Nashville likely wins this series, but again, when I make these picks, it's not I like this team, so I want them to win. It's just when I look at it, I say I think this team is probably the better team. And I'm happy with being wrong. And I very often am. Now, when you look at these teams on the surface of it, they're very, very similar. A lot of depth. They can absorb injuries. Their special teams have been solid. Their goaltending has a reputation for being solid as well. So let's look at that. The leading scorers for Nashville in these playoffs, Austin Watson with 4 goals and 3 assists. He's been a revelation for Nashville. And if you look back at last year's Nashville videos that I did, all the way through the playoffs, I kept waiting for Watson to step up. And rightfully so. I had a lot of people saying, wait, why Watson? I like the kid. His work ethic's awesome. So I'm glad it's paid off. And Colton Sissons with 3 goals and 4 assists these playoffs as well. Matthias Ekholm with a goal and 5 assists. Forsberg, 4 goals and 2 assists. Benino, 2 goals and 3 assists. Johansson, 2 goals and 3 assists. PK Subban has 3 assists in the playoffs. Arvidsson, 2 goals and an assist. And kind of quiet in that first round. So watch out for him. Yossi with 2 assists. Craig Smith, 2 goals. And Fiala with a goal and an assist for Nashville. On the Winnipeg side of things for scoring, Byfuglien with 5 assists. Scheifele, 4 goals and an assist. Stastny, a goal and 3 assists. He's been very useful for Winnipeg and has really solidified that top 6. Top 9, really. The first 3 lines Winnipeg puts on the ice can score. Same for Nashville. This should be a very fast series. Wheeler, a goal and 3 assists. Laine with 2 goals and 2 assists. Myers, 2 goals and an assist. Andrew Kopp with a goal and 2 assists. Jack Roslovic played 4 games, had 2 assists in the ones he played. Connor, we're all waiting on Kyle Connor. 2 assists for him. Brian Little, only a goal and an assist. And Nick Ehlers, who missed the last game with some weird phantom injury, 2 assists. He's expected to play game 1 of the series between these two teams. In net, not a lot to choose. Rinne, 2.60 goals against, 909 save percentage. Colorado kind of beat him up a bit in that series, but Colorado played really well. And yet, here we are, Nashville's in the second round. Hellebuck, 1.94 goals against, 924 save percentage. Honestly, of the 2 goalies, I would say Hellebuck's playing better hockey right now. His back-to-back shutouts in the first round were awesome. Now, again, for me, Hellebuck is the better of the 2, and yet Rinne is able to go on those nice runs. Rinne did not have the run in the first round this year that he had last year against Chicago. But every round's different, and we'll see if Rinne steps up against Winnipeg. If not, if Rinne puts up a 909 against Winnipeg, that save percentage against what Winnipeg can do, Winnipeg will win this series. Now, in head-to-head matchups this year, November 20th, Nashville won 5-3. December 19th, Winnipeg won 6-4. February 27th, Nashville won 6-5. March 13th, Nashville won 3-1. And on March 25th, Winnipeg won in a shootout 5-4. So there's 41 goals, 42 if you count the shootout goal. 41 goals in 5 games. These teams know how to play offense. And the defensive numbers for both teams were pretty good this year. So this should be really, really entertaining. Now, injuries. Yannick Weber for Nashville is the only one listed. And he's been out for a while. And I don't think that affects Nashville in general. He's not a top 4 guy. On the Winnipeg side of things, Armia, Mason, Perreault, Enstrom, and Kulikov. Kulikov and Enstrom, you would think would affect them. It hasn't negatively affected them yet. In fact, there's a chance Toby Enstrom's ready for Game 1, and if he is, he may very well be a healthy scratch, because the way that the blue line's been playing for Winnipeg has been excellent. Now, in terms of key injuries, I would say Matthew Perreault's kind of a key injury, and of course, being playoff time, we don't hear a lot about what's going on with him. Controversial hit took him out from Minnesota. I don't know if he's back for Game 1 or not. But again, Winnipeg has such a solid amount of depth. We're not even talking about Niku. Niku could come in and score goals and points as a defenseman if he needs to, and yet Winnipeg doesn't really need it. If Nashville's going to win this series, they have to do it at home. For this series to work out for Nashville, they got to win their home games, because winning in Winnipeg is really difficult. But winning in Nashville is really difficult too. This very well could go 7, and I'm going to go ahead and put my neck in the noose and say 7 on this one. And I know most of the first round series were 5 or 6. But when I look at teams that are this closely matched up, I can't stand here and with a straight face say Nashville wins it in 5, because I can't see Winnipeg losing 4 out of 5. It's not in my vocab. I can't see it happening. And I'm not wearing a jersey of either team right now. In fact, I'm wearing a shirt that my wife made me, because I don't want to appear that I'm really picking sides, or that I'm necessarily saying, oh yeah, Nashville's going to win or Winnipeg's going to win. I have no idea how this series is going to turn out. What I do know is this. Of the 3 matchups we've got in the second round, I think this is going to be the most entertaining, the most scoring opportunities, probably the most hard-hitting, and that's no insult to Pittsburgh and Washington, who are playing each other for the 3rd time in a row. That is no insult to Vegas and San Jose, or to Tampa and either Boston or Toronto. All of those series this is going to be a fantastic second round. But this series, there's just something special there. The defensive depth, the offensive depth, the goaltenders, everything looks pretty even between these two teams. Even look at the amount of points they put up. And Nashville did win the President's Trophy this year, which means they probably go out in the second round, because the President's Trophy is a jinx, or whatever people think of it. But in reality, okay, Nashville's coming in healthier, and they're coming in. Notice Kyle Turris isn't on this list of scorers. Turris has to be frustrated with that, and he's going to want to prove himself, and he's got a chance to do so against Winnipeg. And Turris can go on a run. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens with them. It'll be very interesting to see what happens with the Jets. Both teams, excellent squads, 2 of the best teams in the league, absolutely. There's no question about it. And this should be a knockdown dragout. And that's why, to me, it's a 7-game series. In reality, is it going to get there? Probably not. But you know what? I want to see 7 between these two. I want to see a dogfight. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through and you want to see what happens between these teams as much as I do, because this is going to be one heck of a series. And if you're wondering about special teams, Nashville 3 for 19, Winnipeg 3 for 13. Kind of a saw-off there. They both got 3 goals in the first round on their power play. Although Nashville did play 1 extra game in the first round than Winnipeg. So maybe a bit of an edge towards Winnipeg. But yeah, Nashville does have a lot of weapons. They've got fantastic blue line. And the depth on both teams is awesome. The depth down the middle for both teams is amazing. This will be a fantastic series. But let me know your thoughts. Thank you guys very much for watching. And I'm anxious to get this series done too, so I can do my preview for Tampa and either Boston or Toronto. Because regardless of which one of those 2 teams win, those final 8, they all belong here. And it is nice to see playoffs. And I know everybody wants to see underdogs. And I fall victim to that too. Where I'm like, I want to see an underdog do it. You know what though? When the underdogs are out, and your division champions all proved they were the best team in their division, and at least through the first round, it makes for some really even matchups in the second round. Some really fascinating matchups. Yes, Cinderella, the clock strikes midnight very often in the first round, but there are still some fascinating stories left to be told. So let me know your thoughts on this one, and I'll talk to you again soon.